1. Do you like art? Yes, I do. I find art really fascinating because it allows people to express their thoughts and emotions in creative ways. Whether it's painting, sculpture, or even digital art, each form has its own charm and can be very inspiring. 2. Have you ever tried making art? Yes, I have. When I was in school, I used to enjoy drawing and painting. I wasn't very skilled, but I liked the process. It was relaxing and fun. Sometimes I still do small sketches in my free time just for enjoyment. Describe a piece of unusual art you saw. One piece of unusual art I saw was a sculpture made entirely out of recycled metal parts. I saw it a couple of years ago at a modern art exhibition in my city's museum. The sculpture was shaped like a giant human face, but it was built using old car parts, broken tools, and scrap metal. From a distance, it looked like a regular statue, but when I got closer, I could see all the tiny, detailed pieces that made it up, like gears for the eyes and wrenches forming the jawline. I thought it was unusual because it combined creativity with environmental awareness. Instead of using traditional materials like clay or marble, the artist used waste materials to create something meaningful. It made me think about how art can be both beautiful and a powerful message about recycling and sustainability. Part 3, Discussion 1. Do you think unusual art is more interesting than traditional art? Why or why not? 2. Should schools teach students to make creative or unusual art? 1. Do you think unusual art is more interesting than traditional art? Why or why not? I think both have their own value. But unusual art can sometimes be more interesting because it surprises people and makes them think differently. It often breaks the rules of traditional styles, which can lead to new ideas and creative expressions. However, traditional art is also important because it shows skill, history, and cultural heritage. So, it really depends on personal taste and the message the artist wants to share. 2. Should schools teach students to make creative or unusual art? Yes. I believe schools should encourage students to explore creative and unusual forms of art. It helps develop imagination and problem-solving skills, which are useful in many areas of life. Giving students the freedom to experiment with different styles and materials can make art more engaging and meaningful for them. At the same time, it's also good to teach some basic techniques and traditional forms so they have a strong foundation to build on. Part 1, Introduction and Interview 1. Do you often see art in your daily life? 2. Would you like to learn how to make your own art? Part 2. Describe an unusual art project someone did using everyday items. You should say what the project was, who made it, what materials they used, and explain what you thought about it. Part 3. Discussion 1. Why do artists sometimes use strange materials in their work? 2. Can art made from recycled things help protect the environment? 3. Do you think people need talent to make creative art? Part 1, Introduction and Interview 1. Do you often see art in your daily life? Yes, quite often. I see art in many places, on posters, in advertisements, on social media, and even in the design of everyday products. Public spaces sometimes have murals or sculptures, and those also catch my attention when I'm walking around. 2. Would you like to learn how to make your own art? Yes, I would love to. I think making art is a great way to express yourself. Although I'm not very good at drawing or painting, I'm interested in learning digital art or maybe something hands-on like sculpture or craft work. blank underscore blank part 2. Describe an unusual art project someone did using everyday items. One unusual art project I remember was a large cityscape model made entirely from cardboard and plastic waste. It was created by a local artist in my town named Lin Nguyen, and I saw it during a community art exhibition last year. She used things like old boxes, bottle caps, plastic containers, and even broken toys to build a miniature version of a busy city. There were tiny buildings, roads, trees, and cars, all made from trash. It was really detailed and impressive. I thought it was both creative and meaningful. Not only was it visually interesting, but it also sent a strong message about waste and urban life. It made me realize how much we throw away without thinking and how art can make people more aware of social and environmental issues. Blank underscore blank part 3. Discussion 1. Why do artists sometimes use strange materials in their work? Artists often use unusual materials to catch attention and challenge people's expectations. It also allows them to send a deeper message, for example, using trash to show the impact of pollution. Strange materials can help make the artwork stand out and give it a unique story or meaning. 2. Can art made from recycled things help protect the environment? Yes, definitely. It helps raise awareness about recycling and sustainability. When people see beautiful or meaningful art made from waste, they might start thinking differently about the things they throw away. It also shows that creativity doesn't need expensive materials, just imagination and effort. 3. Do you think people need talent to make creative art? I think natural talent can help. But it's not everything. Anyone can make creative art if they are willing to experiment and practice. Creativity is more about thinking differently and expressing ideas, rather than just having perfect skills. With time and effort, people can improve and find their own artistic style. Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. Do you think street art is a good way to express ideas? 2. Have you ever taken a photo of an artwork? Part 2. Describe an unusual piece of art you saw in a public place. You should say where it was, what it looked like, who made it, if you know, and explain how you felt when you saw it. Part 3. Discussion 1. What is the difference between street art and graffiti? 2. Do you think unusual art can make a city more interesting? 3. Should governments support street artists? Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. Do you think street art is a good way to express ideas? Yes, I think street art can be a powerful way to express ideas. It's visible to everyone and often placed in public spaces where it can reach a wide audience. Many street artists use their work to share opinions on social or environmental issues, which can make people stop and think. 2. Have you ever taken a photo of an artwork? Yes, I have. I remember once seeing a beautiful mural on the side of a building during a trip. It had bright colors and showed a mix of nature and city life. I found it really inspiring, so I took a photo to remember it and later shared it on social media. Blank underscore blank part 2. Describe an unusual piece of art you saw in a public place. One unusual piece of art I saw was a giant sculpture of a bicycle made from metal pipes and old bicycle parts. I saw it in a park near my home about a year ago. The sculpture was really eye-catching. It was much larger than a real bike, maybe 3 meters tall. And the wheels were made from circular steel frames with spokes made of chains. It looked both artistic and industrial. I'm not sure who the artist was, but I remember reading that it was part of a project to promote eco-friendly transportation. When I saw it, I felt impressed and curious. It made me smile because it was so unexpected in the middle of a park. I also appreciated the creativity behind using recycled materials to make something so meaningful and fun. Blank, underscore, blank, Part 3, Discussion 1. What is the difference between street art and graffiti? Street art is usually more planned and creative. It includes murals, installations, or even sculptures, and it often has a clear message or artistic purpose. Graffiti, on the other hand, is often just text or symbols sprayed on walls, sometimes without permission, and can be seen as vandalism. However, the line between the two is not always clear. 2. Do you think unusual art can make a city more interesting? Yes, absolutely. Unusual art can make a city feel more vibrant and creative. It adds character to public spaces and can turn ordinary areas into memorable ones. People often stop to take pictures or interact with the artwork, which creates a more engaging and lively atmosphere. 3. Should governments support street artists? Yes, I believe governments should support street artists, especially those who create meaningful and respectful work. By giving artists permission and space to express themselves, cities can promote creativity and even attract tourism. Of course, there should be rules to make sure the art is safe and appropriate for public spaces. Part 1, Introduction and Interview 1. What do you think about digital drawings or 3D art? 2. Do you prefer traditional art or modern art? Part 2. Describe a modern or digital art piece that you found unusual. You should say where you saw it, what it showed, how it was created, and explain why you found it interesting. Part 3, Discussion 1. How is modern art different from traditional art? 2. Can people without formal training still make great art today? 3. How has technology changed the way people create art? Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. What do you think about digital drawings or 3D art? I think digital drawings and 3D art are amazing. They show how art is evolving with technology. Digital tools allow artists to create very detailed and imaginative works that might be difficult with traditional materials. 3D art, especially, can look incredibly realistic and is used in things like video games, animation, and even architecture. 2. Do you prefer traditional art or modern art? That's a tough choice. I enjoy traditional art because of its history and technique, but I find modern art more exciting and creative. Modern art often pushes boundaries and uses new materials or technology, which makes it feel more connected to the world we live in today. Blank, underscore, blank, Part 2. Describe a modern or digital art piece that you found unusual. A modern art piece I found unusual was a digital installation I saw at an art and technology exhibition in a local gallery. It was called Digital Forest and was created by a group of multimedia artists. The artwork was a large room filled with LED screens that displayed moving images of trees and nature. As people walked through the room, sensors detected their movement and caused the visuals to change. For example, if someone raised their hand, the leaves on the screen would start falling, or the colors would shift with their motion. It was created using motion sensors, computer programming, and digital animation. I found it interesting because it was interactive. Unlike traditional paintings, this art responded to the viewer. It made me feel like I was part of the artwork, not just someone looking at it. That experience really stuck with me. Blank, underscore, blank. Part 3, Discussion 1. How is modern art different from traditional art? Modern art is usually more experimental and abstract. It doesn't always focus on realistic images or perfect technique. Instead, it often tries to express ideas or emotions in new ways. Traditional art, on the other hand, tends to follow specific styles or rules and often includes subjects like portraits, landscapes, or still life. Both have value, but modern art is often more open to interpretation. 2. Can people without formal training still make great art today? Yes, definitely. With so many online tools and tutorials available, anyone with creativity and passion can learn and create great art. Some of the most popular digital artists today are self-taught. What really matters is the idea behind the art and how it connects with people, not just formal education. 3. How has technology changed the way people create art? Technology has completely transformed art. Artists now use tablets, software, and even AI to create their work. Digital platforms make it easier to share art with a global audience. Technology also allows for interactive and immersive experiences, like virtual reality or 3D modeling, which were impossible in the past. Overall, it has opened up many new possibilities for artists. Part 1, Introduction and Interview 1. Have you ever thought about starting your own business? 2. Do you know anyone who owns a business? Part 2. Describe a creative business idea that you have or have heard about. You should say what the idea is, how it works, why it is creative, and explain how you feel about this idea. Part 3. Discussion 1. Why is creativity important in business today? 2. What helps people become more creative in work? 3. Can creativity be learned, or is it natural? Part 1, Introduction and Interview 1. Have you ever thought about starting your own business? Yes, I've thought about it a few times. I think it would be exciting to run a business where I can be my own boss and make creative decisions. Of course, it's also challenging, but I like the idea of building something from scratch. 2. Do you know anyone who owns a business? Yes, one of my friends runs a small online clothing shop. She designs the clothes herself and sells them through social media and a website. I admire her because she works really hard and has turned her passion into a real business. Blank, underscore, blank, part 2. Describe a creative business idea that you have or have heard about. A creative business idea I heard about recently is a mobile cafe that also offers books to read while you enjoy your drink. It's called Read and Ride, and I came across it in a video online. The idea is simple but clever. It's a van that moves to different parks and public spaces. Inside, there's a small cafe that serves coffee, tea, and snacks. What makes it special is that they also carry a small library of secondhand books, so customers can pick a book, sit outside, and read while they drink. People can even donate or exchange books. I think it's creative because it combines two relaxing activities, reading and enjoying coffee, in a portable format. It brings a cozy, cafe experience to places where you wouldn't normally find one. I really like the idea because it promotes reading and creates a friendly, peaceful environment. If I had the chance, I would love to try something similar in my own city. Blank, underscore, blank, part 3, discussion 1. Why is creativity important in business today? Creativity is essential in today's business world because markets are very competitive and businesses need to stand out. Creative ideas can help companies solve problems, improve their products, and attract customers. Innovation is often the key to long-term success. 2. What helps people become more creative in work? Several things can help, such as having a flexible environment, support from team members, and time to explore new ideas. Also, learning from different fields and experiences can inspire creativity. When people feel safe to share their thoughts without judgment, they're more likely to be creative. 3. Can creativity be learned, or is it natural? I think it's a mix of both. Some people may naturally think more creatively, but creativity can definitely be developed. With practice, exposure to new ideas, and encouragement, anyone can become more creative. It's like a skill, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Part 1, Introduction and Interview 1. Do you like watching shows about business or startups? 2. Have you ever wanted to be an entrepreneur? Part 2. Describe a creative person you know or heard about who started a business. You should say who the person is, what kind of business they started, how they used creativity, and explain why you find this person inspiring. Part 3, Discussion 1. What are the benefits of being a creative business owner? 2. Do people in your country support new business ideas? 3. Is it better to be creative or experienced in business? Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. Do you like watching shows about business or startups? Yes, I enjoy watching those kinds of shows. They're not only entertaining but also educational. I've watched series like Shark Tank, where entrepreneurs pitch their ideas to investors. It's interesting to see how creative and confident people can be when presenting their businesses. 2. Have you ever wanted to be an entrepreneur? Yes, I've thought about it. I like the idea of creating something of my own and having the freedom to make decisions. Of course, being an entrepreneur is risky, but I think it can also be very rewarding if you have a strong idea and are willing to work hard. Blank, underscore, blank, part 2. Describe a creative person you know or heard about who started a business. One creative person I heard about is a young man named Tung, who started an eco-friendly packaging business in Vietnam. His company creates biodegradable packaging made from banana leaves and rice starch as an alternative to plastic. He got the idea after seeing how much waste was produced at local markets. Instead of using plastic bags, his business provides natural packaging to restaurants, supermarkets, and food vendors. What I find creative is not just the product, but also the way he marketed it. He worked with local farmers to source materials and used social media to raise awareness. His packaging even has a beautiful design printed using plant-based ink, which makes it more attractive to customers. I find him inspiring because he didn't just start a business to make money, he wanted to solve a real environmental problem. His creativity helped him build a business that's both sustainable and successful. Blank, underscore, blank, part 3, discussion 1. What are the benefits of being a creative business owner? Creative business owners often find unique solutions and ideas that help them stand out in the market. They can adapt more easily to change, come up with new products or services, and solve problems in innovative ways. Creativity also helps them connect with customers emotionally, which can build strong brand loyalty. 2. Do people in your country support new business ideas? Yes, especially in recent years. There's growing support for startups and innovation, particularly among younger people. The government and some private organizations also offer funding and training for new businesses. However, there are still challenges like limited access to resources and a preference for traditional jobs. 3. Is it better to be creative or experienced in business? Both are important. But if I had to choose, I'd say creativity gives you an edge, especially when starting out. Experience helps you avoid mistakes and manage operations smoothly. Is it better to be creative or experienced in business? Both are important, but if I had to choose, I'd say creativity gives you an edge, especially when starting out. Experience helps you avoid mistakes and manage operations smoothly, but creativity can help you come up with something truly original. Ideally, a successful entrepreneur should have a mix of both or work with people who complement their strengths. Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. Do you often see ads online or on TV? 2. What makes an ad interesting to you? Part 2. Describe a creative advertisement that impressed you. You should say what the product was, where you saw the ad, what made the ad creative, and explain why you liked it. Part 3. Discussion 1. Why do companies need creative advertising? 2. How do creative ads affect customers? 3. Is it more important for ads to be creative or honest? Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. Do you often see ads online or on TV? Yes. I see ads almost every day, especially online. They pop up on social media, YouTube, and even on websites I visit. I don't watch much TV, but when I do, there are usually commercials during the breaks. 2. What makes an ad interesting to you? For me, an interesting ad is one that's either funny, emotional, or really clever. I like ads that tell a story or use creative visuals. If the ad surprises me or makes me think, I'll usually remember it. Blank, underscore, blank, part 2. Describe a creative advertisement that impressed you. One creative advertisement that really impressed me was for Nike, the sportswear brand. I saw the ad on YouTube about 2 years ago. It was part of their "You Can't Stop Us" campaign. The ad showed a split-screen format where two different athletes, often from different countries or sports, were perfectly matched in movement. For example, a basketball player's jump would match a swimmer diving into the pool. It was edited so smoothly that it looked like one continuous action, even though the clips came from completely different sports and events. What made the ad creative was the editing, the message of unity, and the way it celebrated diversity and determination. There was also a powerful voiceover talking about overcoming challenges, especially during tough times like the pandemic. I liked it because it felt very motivating and positive. It wasn't just selling shoes, it was telling a story about human strength and connection, which really stuck with me. Blank, underscore, blank, Part 3, Discussion 1. Why do companies need creative advertising? Companies need creative advertising to stand out in a very crowded market. People see so many ads every day, so only the most creative ones grab attention. A creative ad can also make the brand more memorable and create a stronger emotional connection with the audience. 2. How do creative ads affect customers? Creative ads can influence customers in many ways. They can create curiosity, build trust, or even make people feel inspired. If an ad is funny or touching, people are more likely to remember the product or talk about it with others. This can lead to more interest and eventually more sales. 3. Is it more important for ads to be creative or honest? I think both are important, but if I had to choose, honesty should come first. A creative ad may catch attention, but if it's misleading, customers will lose trust in the brand. A great ad should be both creative and truthful. It should attract people while also clearly and honestly showing what the product or service offers. Part 1, Introduction and Interview 1. What makes a business stand out to you? 2. Do you prefer big or small businesses? Part 2. Describe a time when a business used creativity to serve customers better. You should say what the business was, what they did, how customers reacted, and explain why you think it was creative. Part 3, Discussion 1. How can creativity improve customer experience? 2. Do customers always notice creative services? 3. Should companies focus more on price or innovation? Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. What makes a business stand out to you? A business stands out to me when it offers something unique, either through excellent customer service, creative products, or a memorable brand identity. I also notice businesses that care about their customers and try to solve real problems in smart ways. 2. Do you prefer big or small businesses? It depends on the situation. I like small businesses because they often offer more personal service and unique products. But for convenience or variety, I sometimes go to big businesses. Overall, I prefer supporting small, local shops when I can. Blank, underscore, blank, Part 2. Describe a time when a business used creativity to serve customers better. One time I was really impressed by a bakery in my city that used creativity to continue serving customers during the pandemic. The bakery is called Sweet Street, and it's popular for its custom cakes and pastries. When lockdown started, many shops had to close, but Sweet Street came up with a clever idea. They launched a Design Your Own Cake service online. Customers could choose flavors, toppings, and decorations through an interactive website. Then, the bakery would deliver the custom cake directly to the customer's home, following safety measures. What made it creative was how they turned something normally done in person into a fun digital experience. They even added options like writing custom messages or uploading a photo to be printed on the cake. Customers reacted very positively. Many people shared photos of their cakes on social media, and it helped the bakery stay in business. I think it was creative because they used technology and imagination to stay connected with customers during a difficult time. Blank, underscore, blank, Part 3, Discussion 1. How can creativity improve customer experience? Creativity can make the customer experience more enjoyable, personalized, and memorable. For example, a creative shop might use fun packaging, offer interactive services, or surprise customers with small gifts. These kinds of experiences build loyalty and make people want to come back. 2. Do customers always notice creative services? Not always. Some creative ideas are subtle, like a smart layout or a more convenient ordering system. But even if customers don't notice the creativity directly, they often feel the positive effect, like a smoother or more enjoyable experience. 3. Should companies focus more on price or innovation? It depends on the type of business and the market. For basic products, price might be more important to customers. But in the long run, innovation helps a company grow and stay ahead of competitors. Ideally, a good company should balance both, offering fair prices while still trying to improve and be different. Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. Do you like trying new products? 2. Do you prefer simple or creative designs? Part 2. Describe a product or service you think was very creative. You should say what the product service is, how it works, what makes it special, and explain why you think it's creative. Part 3. Discussion 1. Why do companies need to keep creating new things? 2. How does technology support creative ideas in business? 3. Is creativity more important in small or big businesses? Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. Do you like trying new products? Yes. I really enjoy trying new products, especially if they offer something unique or solve a problem in a better way. Whether it's a new type of gadget, app, or even food. I'm usually curious to see how it works and whether it lives up to the hype. 2. Do you prefer simple or creative designs? I prefer creative designs that are also simple and functional. I think the best products are those that look interesting but are still easy to use. A creative design catches my attention, but it has to be practical too. Part 2. Describe a product or service you think was very creative. A product I found very creative is a smart reusable notebook called Rocketbook. I discovered it online while looking for eco-friendly stationery. It works like a regular notebook, but you write using a special pen, and then you can scan your notes using an app on your phone. The app saves your notes to cloud services like Google Drive or Dropbox. After that, you can wipe the pages clean with a damp cloth and reuse them. What makes this product special is that it combines the traditional feel of writing on paper with the convenience of digital storage. It's great for people like students or professionals who take a lot of notes but want to reduce paper waste. I think it's creative because it solves multiple problems at once. It saves paper, keeps your notes organized, and it looks and feels like a real notebook. It's also a good example of how simple technology can make a big difference in daily life. Blank, _ blank, Part 3, Discussion 1. Why do companies need to keep creating new things? Companies need to keep innovating to stay competitive. Customers' needs and preferences change over time, and new technologies keep emerging. If a company doesn't come up with fresh ideas, it can quickly fall behind its competitors and lose relevance in the market. 2. How does technology support creative ideas in business? Technology provides tools that make it easier to develop and test creative ideas. For example, 3D printing can help with product design, while software and AI can improve customer service or automate tasks. Social media also allows businesses to promote their creative ideas to a wider audience quickly and cheaply. 3. Is creativity more important in small or big businesses? Creativity is important in both, but in slightly different ways. Small businesses often rely on creativity to stand out and attract attention with limited resources. Big businesses may use creativity on a larger scale, for example, in advertising, product development, or improving systems. So, while the role may differ, creativity is valuable for both. Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. Do you like drawing or painting in your free time? 2. What do people in your country think about unusual art? Part 2. Describe a time when you saw or made art that expressed strong emotions. You should say what the art was, what it looked like, what emotion it showed, and explain why it was meaningful to you. Part 3. Discussion 1. Why do people use art to show their feelings? 2. Is unusual art a better way to express emotions than normal pictures? 3. Can art help people with stress or sadness? Part 1. Introduction and Interview 1. Do you like drawing or painting in your free time? Yes, I do enjoy drawing in my free time, especially when I need to relax. I'm not a professional artist, but I like sketching simple things like landscapes or abstract shapes. It helps me clear my mind and be creative. 2. What do people in your country think about unusual art? In my country, opinions are mixed. Some people appreciate unusual art because it's different and thought-provoking, while others may not understand it and prefer traditional styles. But I think younger generations are becoming more open to modern and creative forms of expression. Blank, underscore, blank, part 2. Describe a time when you saw or made art that expressed strong emotions. One time I saw a painting that really expressed strong emotions was during a visit to a local art exhibition last year. The painting was called Lonely Winter by a young artist from my city. It showed a single person standing in the middle of a snowy street, with dark buildings on both sides and a gray, cloudy sky above. The colors were mostly black, white, and blue, which made the scene look very cold and empty. The person in the painting had no face, which made it feel even more mysterious and emotional. The emotion it expressed was loneliness or sadness, and I felt really moved when I looked at it. It reminded me of times when I felt alone or lost in a busy world. I think it was meaningful to me because it showed how art can say things that are hard to express with words. It made me feel connected to the artist, even though I didn't know them. Blank, underscore, blank, part 3, discussion 1. Why do people use art to show their feelings? People use art to express feelings because it's a powerful and personal way to communicate. Sometimes it's hard to explain emotions using words, but colors, shapes, and images can say a lot. Art can help people release their emotions and share their thoughts with others in a meaningful way. 2. Is unusual art a better way to express emotions than normal pictures? In some cases, yes. Unusual art often breaks the rules and allows more freedom, which can be helpful when expressing complex emotions. For example, abstract or experimental art might show confusion, anger, or joy in a way that a realistic picture cannot. But both types can be emotional, it really depends on the artist's style and message. 3. Can art help people with stress or sadness? Yes, definitely. Many people use art as a form of therapy. Drawing, painting, or even just looking at art can help people relax and deal with their emotions. It provides a safe space to express feelings, and it can be very calming. Art therapy is even used by professionals to support mental health.